In this video, we check out another guitar collection, this time from our friend called Dan. He has a plethora of custom shop and Masterbuilt guitars, and he even owns some 2-rock amplifiers. So I'm so excited to showcase it in today's video. But before we get started, this is a teaser of what's to come. So without further ado, let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to Squealing Pig Guitars, the home of luxury shred machines here in Nottingham, England. My name is Ben Keightley, and today we're taking a look at another guitar collection. You guys seem to really like the last video we did up in Newcastle with John's collection, so if you'd like to see more guitar collection videos, make sure to leave a like on this video. And most importantly, if you have a killer guitar collection and want to showcase it on this channel, then send us a comment down below or DM me on Instagram. This is my username. So a bit of backstory about how this video came to be. Daniel was interested in a heavy aged Les Paul. It was a Lemon Burst. It's actually the one that I played in the King of Les Pauls video. And unfortunately that guitar sold, but we got talking about his collection and stuff, and he offered to bring it in, which was very kind of him. He has Gibson custom shops, Fender Masterbuilt, and he even has a Gretsch Masterbuilt, which is nice and rare to see. But what really got me excited was that he had 2-rock amplifiers. The first is a Joey Landreth stack, which is so rare. I think they only made 100 worldwide, but I might be wrong about that. But it has harmonic tremolo in it as well as a 310 speaker cabinet, and I've never played 2-rock as they've always been well out of my reach price wise. He also has one of the Bloomfield drives in a beautiful kind of sage green Tolex, which just looked amazing in person. So spoiler alert, they sound bloody amazing, as you'll soon find out in this video. So let's go to guitar number 1, which is a Gibson 335 1958 reissue from the custom shop. So to kick off the collection video, we've got the first guitar today, and I have to admit, I know I say this a lot, but this is one of my dream guitars, one that I'd love to own one day. This is a 58 reissue of a Gibson 335, and it's in a beautiful tobacco finish. What I really like about this guitar is how the black border is very thin around the bout of the guitar, and then obviously you have that real nice kind of dark tobacco finish there. But we'll go over all the specs of this guitar in a little bit. But for today's demo, as you can see, we've got a pair of 2-rocks, which is amazing. Our friend Daniel has brought these in for us to try. This is my first time playing a 2-rock, and I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised. So I'm plugged into the Joey Landreth signature. We've got a condenser microphone on one of the 10-inch speakers. It's a 310 cabinet, and in the room it sounds amazing. So hopefully it'll translate over on the video for you guys. So to start off with, I'm gonna disengage the tremolo, so it's just the normal guitar tone. I'm on the bridge pickup. Let's hear this first guitar. So let's hear a little bit of information about the guitar from Daniel.
The Gibson 58 reissue 335 weighs £7, 13 3/4 ounces. So I tried it despite knowing it had a very big neck and to my surprise I really liked it. This is when I realised that it's a neck shape rather than the size of a neck that determines whether I'm going to like a neck on it. This 335 simply has more forgiving shoulders and nicely rolled fretboard edges compared to some other similarly necked guitars.
Now I'm going to engage the harmonic tremolo.
In my opinion, the most impressive feature about this particular guitar is its tone. It produces one of, if not the best tone from a Gibson reissue guitar I ever had the pleasure of experiencing. Objectively speaking, it has all the growl and texture you could want with very, very little compression. It just sounds the most natural open tone I have experienced from a Gibson reissue, and it just breathes very openly with loads of texture and energy.
So now I've turned the master all the way up. I'm going through the little power station. So that's how we're able to get some edge of breakup tones. So let's hear the bridge pickup. This is going to be pure rock and roll. Neck pickup. So that's probably one of the best sounds I've ever got from an amplifier. This combination is just incredible. Some thoughts about the 2-rock. I know we're talking about the guitars today, but it's such a dynamic amplifier. As you heard there, I was playing heart-shaped box. You can get into them really high gain distortions. The mastering gain is on full, and that's probably why. But when you roll back the volume, it's just so reactive. On a 2 and 3, you basically get a clean tone. Bring up to 5 and 6, you're getting a little bit of hair. And you can just hear that. You're in rock and roll heaven. I love an amp like that, and it's just such an experience playing an amp like that as well. The guitar is an incredibly well set up guitar. Obviously the 58s are kind of the most basic 335s. You've got the dot neck, you don't have any binding. It's a very thick neck as well. This one in particular, I like to describe it as it has a bit of an acoustic guitar feeling neck. I love the 58. I think it's my favorite 335 out of all of them, if I'm being completely honest. Cool guitar. So we better move on to the next one, as I've been playing this one for about 12 minutes. So the next guitar is a Gretsch Masterbuilt, and it's a duo jet with a Bigsby Filtertron pickups, and it's got the Firebird red colour on it, and it just looks amazing. All of these Stephen Stern Masterbuilts are always relic to perfection. They have a nice kind of sanded away finish. They really share similar DNA with the Fender Custom Shop, as they're actually co-owned, so the relicing styles are very similar. Okay, so guitar number 2 time, we have a duo jet, and this is a Masterbuilt version in Firebird red. Absolutely stunning. So let's plug it into the Jury Landreth and see how she sounds. So here's the neck pickup, let's hear it.
Firebird Red Gretsch G6131 Custom Shop Masterbuilt guitar weighs 7 pounds, 10 3/4 ounces, and was built by Stephen Stern in 2020 using classic TV Jones Filtertron pickups.
Gorgeous neck pickup tone. Let's go to the middle. Of course, I've made this amp a little bit cleaner just for the Gretsch, just for the more jangly tones. Just turn down the master volume slightly. Also, something else to mention is this other toggle switch is basically your tone selection. So up top you have like the squeeze box, they call it, which is kind of where they remove the tone. Very interesting tone, very similar to a jazz circuit on a Jazzmaster. Now we've got the middle, so this is bright.
This guitar came from Guitar Center in the US. It definitely has a classic vibe and channels your inner Malcolm Young very effectively. Personally, I find Filtertron loaded Gretsch guitars rather special.
You have a slight kind of mid-range boost, which is great for kind of AC/DC stuff. For fun, let's turn up the master and the gain to get a really fuzzy tone. The Gretsch, so let's move on to the next guitar. Now we have quite the interesting Fender Stratocaster to show you. This one is actually made out of spruce, and it's a Dale Wilson Masterbuilt. Okay, so guitar number 3 now, and we have quite the rarity. This is a Fender Masterbuilt, but it is made out of spruce, so this is a spruce Strat, and as you can see here, the lines that you'd see usually on an acoustic, like a Martin, you can actually see all the way through this wood, so as I turn it over, the lines are going in that kind of vertical pattern, and we have a gorgeous flamed maple neck on this one. It's very relict, it's very in your face, obviously after like a 50s type design, it's a Dale Wilson, but let's see how it sounds. So I'm running again into the 2-rock, we'll switch to the other one a little bit, but I've got the harmonic tremolo on this one, so we're going to get a bit of that kind of Hendrix vibe, so let's hear it.
Dale Wilson Masterbuilt Strat weighs 6 pounds, 14 1/4 ounces, and came from Peach Guitars. It has fat 50s pickups and a 57 soft V-shaped neck. Personally, I find soft V neck shapes the most consistently comfortable for my own hands. I was curious what a spruce body Strat would be like, and I was also attracted to the lightweight, of course, being under 7 pounds. This guitar is the most resonant guitar I have ever played. I literally feel a lot of good vibrations while playing this guitar, which makes me feel more connected to the tones produced while playing it. It is superb. Best Strat I've ever played, personally.
on for a Les Paul party, we've got a 57 Darkback Gold Top, we have a 59 Burst, and we also have a 68 Les Paul Custom in Ebony. So let's go and check them out. These are snappy, these ones. So next guitar, we have a 57 Reissue Murphy Lab Light Aged, and this one is how all gold tops should be in my opinion. We've got a dark back on this one, which is one for the Slash fans especially. It's got a lot of pitting on this one, lots of like lacquer checking, but it's a very gorgeous example. So let's hear how she sounds.
The 57 Reissue Gold Top Les Paul weighs 8 pounds 11 ounces and came from Anderton's. It has quite a heavy relic aesthetic to what is actually a light aged Murphy Lab guitar. It has a well played and well loved feel to it, with a comfortable soft spring to the gauge 10 strings I use with it. The neck pickup has a beautiful velvet-like tone without being too dark, and the bridge pickup has a pleasing bite as you want from a good Les Paul. I'm finding this to be my most comfortable Les Paul to play right now.
So the next guitar is quite possibly the lightest Les Paul I've ever felt. This is under 8 pounds, and it's very weird to hold a guitar or a Les Paul that is this light. But it's a very nice kind of Murphy Lab relic. I really like the top on this one. It's got that kind of vintage vibe. It's not too flamey, but it's got a little bit of figuring. I like to call it kind of like a wavy top. Looks very similar to like the Beauty of the Burst guitar, but you guys all know the specs of a 59, so let's hear it going through the Joey Landreth. So this is just a kind of slightly overdriven tone. Let's hear it.
Light-aged Murphy Lab 59 Reissue Les Paul weighs 7 pounds and 15 ounces and came from Sweetwater in 2021 during the initial launch of the Murphy Lab. However, the guitar was actually built in 2020 during the first run of the Murphy Lab guitars. I was curious to find out what the fuss was all about with the new Murphy Lab finishes. I had never experienced such a lightweight Les Paul before, and given its understated yet well-proportioned flame top, I just jumped at this one. The lighter weight feels good to play. It has great texture to its tone, but it is a little softer in its delivery compared to the other two in this video. I am happy to say there's been no sign of issues with the finish on this guitar. No flaky business, as some owners reported from early runs of cherry-backed Murphy Lab Les Pauls.
So a lovely resonant Les Paul. I always find the lighter you can get the Les Paul, the more resonant they tend to be. I know a lot of people believe that the heavier the Les Paul is, the more tone. But for me, when you have a nice light Les Paul, it tends to resonate better, and that's a general saying. But it feels really nice. I can feel this guitar resonating against my body. I can feel it resonating in my hand. This has quite a thin 59 profile again, but very, very comfortable indeed. A little bit slinkier than the gold top, and I definitely prefer the finish and the checking on this one. It's less prominent, although you can see it visually, you can't really feel it on this one, and it's a little bit more stripped back. I really like it, and the top looks awesome as well. So yeah, that was the 59, probably the lightest one I've ever played. I nearly threw it up, then it was that light. But yeah, below £8, awesome guitar. So next guitar, we've now got a 1968 reissue Les Paul Custom in Ebony, and this is made in 2018, so it was the anniversary version. Again, I'm sure you guys know the specs of a 68, but if you don't, obviously it's a Les Paul Custom, maple top. We have nylon saddles on this ABR1 bridge, which is drilled directly into the top, so it's that vintage spec. We have the witch hat knobs, which are some of my favorites. They just look so killer. We then have the gold hardware, which is slightly worn off, and then we have the ebony fingerboard and beautiful Gibson ambered over. And we have this beautiful split diamond inlay with the ambered over lacquer. That is just one of the most beautiful looking headstocks that you're ever going to get. And of course, we also get the very cool waffle back tuners, which again are very classy. These changes to the Les Paul Custom really propelled it into a new level of beauty, in my opinion. I think these 68s are just so good looking, and this one has some really nice patinaed lacquer over the cream binding, so it almost looks a little bit golden, which fits the guitar. Again, just straight into the two rock as we have been for the entirety of this episode, but let's hear some tones.
The 2018 50th anniversary 68 Ebony Les Paul Custom came from Guitar Centre, and it is a beast. It is the heaviest at 9 pounds and half an ounce, and the loudest of the 3 Les Pauls in this video. It has a lot of energy about it. In my opinion, it is arguably objectively the strongest of the 3 Les Pauls, because the guitar can also become very soft and articulate with careful manipulation of the volume and tone pots. I feel there is more dynamic range in this guitar than the others.
This Les Paul was very different to the other ones. Obviously it's a Les Paul Custom, so it's a little bit of a different vibe. It's a little bit more angular in shape. I found that this had the thinnest neck out of all of them, very modern feeling, with a little bit flatter frets, but more rectangular and a little bit thicker this way, as obviously it's a bit more of a modern guitar and it don't have the really small kind of fretless wonder frets. I really like nylon bridges, or the nylon saddles even, on a ABR1 bridge. I think they have a really cool kind of mellow tone, and I've played a few ES345s that have nylon saddles and it sounds really good. This one obviously visually looks incredible, and I think for clean stuff, Les Paul Customs are actually really good because you have that ebony fingerboard. It gives you a little bit more brightness, and especially when you play chords like this, you just seem to get a little bit more of that chimey tone. Really nice indeed. But yeah, awesome Les Paul Custom from 2018. So now that we're at the end of the video, I'm going to reveal to you which guitar was my favourite. So my favourite guitar from today's video was this beautiful 58 Reissue Gibson 335. And I thought, because we haven't turned on this amazing Bloomfield Drive by Two Rock, which closed the show by playing this amazing amp. So I'm plugged straight in, and let's hear some tones.
Two Rock Bloomfield Drive to UK spec while I lived for a period of time in the US. I chose the 50-100 watt version for maximum headroom as a total contrast against smaller wattage amps. The cab is a 2x12 open back with Two Rock branded speakers. The Two Rock speakers are amazingly musical for guitar speakers, in a full range kind of way. I often play music through new speaker cabs to help loosen them up when they're brand new. This cab has been the most musical I have heard anyway. In my opinion, the Bloomfield Drive is the Two Rock to pick if you want a versatile 2-channel amp with reverb. The Bloomfield Drive allows the user to more or less set a clean and drive channel at the same volume due to having multiple volume and gain controls, whereas the other Two Rocks can be more difficult to equalize volumes when foot switching between cleaner and dirtier tones.
guys, we're at the end of another video. I really hope you've enjoyed checking out Daniel's collection today. Obviously, a big thank you to Daniel for bringing in the guitars, making the trip here to Squealing Pig Guitars here in Nottingham, and obviously showcasing the beautiful 2-rock amplifiers. I think after this video, I might have to get a 2-rock, even if it breaks my bank. Honestly, that sound was to die for. But let me know in the comment section below, guys, if you could tell a difference. Does it sound much better to you guys when you're listening to these videos, or could you not notice too much of a difference from the Kemper? Let me know down below. Honest thoughts only would be great. Should I get a Bloomfield Drive or something like that? Let me know. But yeah, the guitars were all amazing. Obviously, my favourite was the Gibson 335, but I also really liked the Strat, and the Gretsch was really cool also. So it just goes to show, having a few different guitars in your collection is always worthwhile, getting different tones, and yeah, it was just a really nice privilege to check out Daniel's collection today. The sound in this room was phenomenal. Obviously, we use the Kemper most of the time for these demos, so we don't have the best mic setup. I just use an Audio Technica condenser microphone. But it'd be really cool to do a dual microphone setup at some point with these 2-rocks and see really kind of what they can do, so you guys can hear the full capabilities. But in the room, it was an absolutely mouth-watering sound. It was amazing. But as I said, guys, if you enjoy this content, make sure to hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to be notified when we make a new video. Next week, I'm going to be going to Nashville, Tennessee, visiting Gibson Garage, Carter Vintage Guitars, Groon's Guitars, all the guitar shops out there, and I'm going to be vlogging every single day, so make sure to hit subscribe if you don't want to miss out. As always, make sure to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I like to read all the comments, and I always like to reply, so make sure to comment down below, and I'll drop you a reply very soon. But thank you so much for checking into this Squealing Pig Guitars video, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. But until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.